Level 1. You've got $100,000, and absolutely nobody around you knows it. No flashy car. No penthouse. No ring on your finger that announces what took you years to build. You're sitting in the same apartment, driving the same paid-off sedan, eating lunch at the same desk you've eaten at for 3 years. The number on your brokerage statement just crossed 6 figures for the first time, and instead of fireworks, what you feel is something quieter, something closer to relief, or maybe anxiety. Because here's what nobody warned you about. $100,000 is the exact point where two completely different types of people reveal themselves, not by what they have, by what they do next. One person looks at that number and sees a rival. The other looks at that number and sees a starting line. Those two people, same net worth, same Tuesday morning, same coffee in hand, are about to live completely different financial lives. And the gap between them will not be small. So before we go any further, let me ask you one question. When you picture yourself at $100,000, which person are you? Level 1. You got $100,000, and your first instinct is to do something with it. That instinct is a trap. At this level, the single most important move is not optimizing your portfolio. It's not chasing a higher yield. It's not finding the next hot asset class everyone in your group chat is whispering about. It's building a wall between you and a financial emergency. Not the exciting option, the boring one. A fully funded emergency fund. 3 to 6 months of actual expenses, sitting liquid and untouched. Because without that wall, one job loss, one medical bill, one unexpected car repair, and that $100,000 gets raided before compounding ever gets a chance to work. The difference between level 1 and level 2 is not income. It's one behavior. Level 2 is the person who protects the base before they build upward. They stop treating $100,000 like a destination and start treating it like infrastructure. That shift alone separates the builders from everyone else. Level 3. From the outside, nothing looks different. Same apartment, same car, same job title on LinkedIn. But what's changed is the internal financial structure. The emergency fund is solid. Contributions are automated. The $100,000 isn't just sitting, it's allocated. Index funds, retirement accounts maxed or close to it. A system running quietly in the background while life continues on the surface. This is where most people stall. Not because they ran out of money, because they ran out of patience. The portfolio grows, but slowly. A good year adds $11,000. A flat year adds nothing. It doesn't feel like progress. It feels like standing still in expensive shoes. Level 4 is the person who stays anyway. They understand that compounding doesn't perform for an audience. It performs in silence, over time, without applause. Level 4 behavior looks like this. No panic selling. No strategy switching. No checking portfolio after every Fed announcement. Just consistency. That's the foundation. And foundations don't look impressive until the building goes up. Level 5 is different. Not because the number is impressive, because the math changes. At this level, your portfolio is generating enough passive growth to cover a meaningful monthly expense. We're talking car payments, utility bills, groceries, not from withdrawals, from returns, from the portfolio, simply doing what portfolios do when you leave them alone long enough. At a 10% average annual return, a $100,000 portfolio produces roughly $10,000 in growth per year. That's $833 a month. Working silently, requiring nothing from you, no overtime, no side hustle, no negotiating a raise with someone who doesn't want to give you one. For the first time, doing nothing is a valid strategy. And here's the part that's almost unsettling. Most people who reach this level don't fully realize what just happened. They're still in survival mode mentally, still budgeting like they're broke, still treating every dollar like it might be the last one. The money graduated. The mindset hasn't caught up yet. That gap, right there, is exactly where level 5 people split into two very different futures. By level 6, the portfolio is largely self-sustaining. You're not pushing the snowball anymore. The snowball is pulling you. The psychological shift at this level is subtle but permanent. You stop thinking about saving money and start thinking about deploying it. Every dollar that comes and gets evaluated not by what it can buy today, but by what it can compound into over the next decade. That reframe is not small. It changes how you negotiate your salary. It changes how you look at a car payment. It changes what feels like a good decision. The behaviors that signal level 6 and 7 are quiet ones. You increase contributions after a market dip instead of freezing. You stop comparing your portfolio to other people's highlight reels. You understand volatility is not a threat. It's an opportunity with bad timing. Level 7 is where the math becomes almost unfair. Your returns are now outpacing your annual contributions. The portfolio is adding more wealth in a single year than you can manually put in. You didn't get a promotion. You didn't launch a business. The machine you built at level 2 just grew up. At the highest levels, the rules that got you here stopped working. Saving aggressively? Still useful, but no longer the primary lever. Index funds and patience? Still the backbone. But now there are new conversations happening. Tax optimization, asset location, estate planning. Conversations that sound boring until you realize the difference between doing them right and ignoring them can cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars over a lifetime. At this level, the threat is no longer poverty. The threat is inefficiency. And here's what separates the people who reach the top levels from those who plateau somewhere in the middle. It's not income. It's not luck. It's not even discipline, though discipline got them here. It's that they never stopped thinking like a level 2 person while acting like a level 7 one. They kept the hunger. They just upgraded the strategy. Most people never reach this level not because the math was against them, but because they stayed locked inside the thinking they arrived with. The scarcity mindset, the survival instincts, the level 2 ceiling they built around themselves and never questioned. So, where are you actually? Not based on your income, not based on your job title, but based on your behavior? Because behavior tells the real story. Level 1 behavior looks like this. The emergency fund doesn't exist yet, or it gets rated every few months. The $100,000 feels fragile. Every market dip triggers a decision. Level 3 behavior looks like this. The system is built, contributions are automated, but patience is wearing thin. The portfolio feels slow. Lifestyle temptations are getting louder. Level 5 behavior looks like this. The math is working, but the mindset hasn't caught up. You're still budgeting like someone who's behind, even though the numbers say otherwise. Level 7 behavior looks like this. You barely check the portfolio, not from neglect, from trust. You built something real, and you know it. Here's the honest question. Which description made you uncomfortable? Because discomfort is not failure. Discomfort is your current level asking you to move. If you want to move from wherever you are to the next level, there is one thing that matters more than anything else right now. Not a new investment strategy. Not a hot asset class. Not a spreadsheet with 17 tabs. One thing. Identify the single behavior that is keeping you at your current level and eliminate it this week, not this year. This week. If it's a missing emergency fund, open the account today. If it's the automated contribution you keep meaning to set it up before this video ends. If it's the mindset that still treats $100,000 like an endpoint, reread this script and ask yourself which level your thinking actually lives at. That's the next level. Not a number, a decision. The 2 types of people we talked about at the start of this video, they didn't split apart because of talent or timing. They split apart because of this moment, right here, what you do next. If this gave you clarity, subscribe, because every week we go deeper into money moves that actually change the trajectory.